where up is now down and left is now right.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together.
The world is on fire and we are all doomed.
We're doomed.
Doomed! I told you!
We're doomed!
Doomed! We're doomed.
Our universe is doomed!
Relax. Take a break from the insanity and laugh.
It unites humanity in a way that no one ever thought possible.
It's reality on Call Waiting.
Pet Sematary. Opening up the show, reality on Call Waiting. Rob Rotten, Nikki Tsundere with you. Now,
no,
I want to go ahead and get this out there because of who you are, how you are.
Yeah, but real quick,
horror movies are your thing.
Oh yeah, they totally are. But just randomly, just popped in my head. If you were buried in a pet cemetery, how do you think you would have came back? I'm hoping I would have come back like Gus from the second one, you know, kind of quirky, you know, weird, not just completely evil, you know, just kind of quirky. If per se I was buried in a pet cemetery. I still want to look gross, you know, that's part of it. But what do you think? Would you just be evil?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I would be Rob Rottener.
Yeah. Yeah, I can...
Rob More Rotten.
Yeah.
That'd just be me.
Yeah, I definitely...
Just craving flesh and wanting to... with more murderous intent. I'd be like Gage in the first one.
Ooh.
Just, I want to play.
So you'd be more playful dead.
Sure, why not? So we're talking about Pet Sematary because guess what, ladies and germs?
Yeah, that just came out.
We have more and more remakes and reboots and movies that really shouldn't be made being made.
Yeah, we never even asked for them. We don't want them. I don't even see why the hell they're doing them.
And Pet Sematary is one in particular for you that you are very upset about.
Oh, yeah, because, again, this is like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory all over again. The big lie that, oh, we're going to stay true to the book. Yes, we're gonna actually go deeper into the book and cover the things that the original movie didn't. Lies. All lies. The title of the movie should just have spell check done and just change it. It's Pet Sematary. None of the quirky misspelling, you know, it's...
So this movie, the 2019 version, is done by the same people who did the It remake.
No, that's going to be the...
That's the
Child's Play remake, which is... We will be slicing and dicing that next. No, but this movie... Did you bury Ryoga in a pet cemetery and I didn't know about it?
No, that's just him.
Okay, because he's flipping out.
That's just Ryoga being Ryoga.
Well, you know, I mean, I'll tell you, this has been going on for like, what, a couple of weeks now. I've been pissed off about this movie. I mean, I've even made kind of snarky posts on Facebook to Joe Blow because it's just, they're really hyping it. I mean, they're acting like it is the scariest, you know, the best rendition ever. Okay, how can it be the best rendition ever? You're remaking it. It's the second rendition, so okay, better than the first. There's not like a whole lineage of it, you know.
Get to the big thing that pisses you off about this remake.
Oh, they changed the most important part.
Which was?
Gage. Gage is the one that dies and that Lewis brings back. But in this one, they decided, nope, it's going to be Ellie. It's going to be the daughter.
Now, why did they kill Gage in the first one?
Because the premise behind the book was the fear of... From
Stephen King's narrative standpoint,
yeah, it was
his biggest fear
was losing a child.
Was losing his son.
Yes, and...
So this addressed that fear.
It did, and it also symbolized the loss of innocence.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
so
and the really cool story behind it is, when he first tried to get that book published, his publisher said, "No, you've got to take that out. You've got to change it." He said no. Publisher dropped him. It took him a few years to get a new publisher, even to get that book published.
now we'll have to reach out to our friends at the Happily Cinemarried podcast, Liz and Terry. We'll have to get with them and pick their brain on this, because I'm curious to hear what they have to say about this same thing, about horror movie remakes or movie remakes in general. And because this is not one I'm looking for. I'm not looking forward to this one. Not looking forward to the Child's Play one. Even with Mark Hamill voicing Chucky.
Yeah, but where's Brad Dourif? That's my question.
But think about this. There are more movie remakes and reboots planned through 2022, such as The Neverending Story.
Oh my God, you're kidding.
The Birds.
Oh,
Creature
no.
from the Black Lagoon. Scarface.
What?
This one really pisses me off.
What is it?
Short Circuit.
Oh, Jesus. Are you serious?
Mortal Kombat, Weird Science, Police Academy, Firestarter, Shaft. Sister Act, White Men Can't Jump. Just to name some other ones.
Wow. Yeah, Hollywood is really out of ideas. And the writing sucks. It has such an undertone of arrogance, but yet they don't have guts. There's no guts behind it at all. I mean, I think that it was a complete cop-out to change Gage dying to Ellie. They were too afraid of killing a small... I mean, he was a toddler.
Yeah, exactly. American Psycho, Commando.
American Psycho wasn't even that old.
Drop Dead Fred. Dirty
Oh,
Dancing.
no.
The Crow.
No. They've tried that too many times. That movie's cursed.
Death Wish, Escape from New York. Heavy Metal. Highlander. Little Shop of Horrors.
Highlander, really?
Scarface.
Well, you already said
mentioned
that one, yeah.
The Bodyguard.
Oh, God. Let me guess. Probably Christina Aguilera this time.
Let's see. Blech. The Stooge. Which, this is just going to be a short mystery starring Robert Picardo.
I love him.
Van Helsing.
Okay.
Logan's Run. Mortal Kombat.
What? Wait, hold on. You cannot just glaze past that one. Logan's Run? Oh, come on. Really? Oh, Jesus Christ. Leave it alone. Why?
Time Cop.
I don't really have a dog in that one.
Yeah, then of course, there are Cliffhanger apparently is.
What about K2? Is that one on there?
Not seeing that one.
How many Jean-Claude Van Damme ones are on there?
Well, like we said, Time Cop. Let's see. That's all I've got right there.
So what did they do? Just like...
Oh, another Hellraiser.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Spawn.
Nah. Thing is, for Hellraiser, are they going to keep the original Pinhead? I know he's getting old, but he seemed pretty spry when we met him.
And of course, another Nightmare on Elm Street reboot. A reboot of the 1984 film and the 2010 remake.
Now, are they going to actually
Nope.
they're not going to have England?
Of course
then
not.
It's going to bomb. It's going to bomb because that was their biggest mistake. That and Freddy had no humor at all.
Yeah, I mean, think about this, people. Look at the performance of the all-female Ghostbusters. Look at the performance of a lot of these movies that have been coming out.
Total Recall.
When you see that these movies are not doing well at the box office, they're not doing well on rentals, they're not doing well on streaming, if people are not seeing it, that should tell you something.
Yeah.
But your dumbasses are too thick and too stupid to understand that, oh, wait, they're not watching it. Maybe we shouldn't do this. No. You guys, you assholes in Hollywood have to be right. You guys have to be the people that tell us what to watch. Stop it.
Well, and here I'll play devil's advocate. I think part of the reason why they're doing this is studios have no original ideas. And yes, to anybody out there screaming at us, I get it. Most of Hollywood period is rehashed, remade, but this is blatant and this is bad. I mean, they're not making it better.
No.
They're making it suck. It's like they don't even for the horror genre. I absolutely despise the fact that all they use is CG now. I mean, I love the old costume props and the actual special effects makeup. I mean, I loved the foam. I loved reading Fangora, Gore magazine. I loved watching how they made it. I get it. It's costly, but it's worth it. I mean, if you're going to go that route, I mean, at least have some respect for the genre. I mean, everything is just jump scares, CGI, and there's no plot. I mean, you might as well just make it a porno.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what?
Or you soften it. I mean,
not going to knock
honestly.
that part.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we may have just
the
come up with
obligatory horror movie nudity. I'm not going to knock it.
Oh
so.
no, I wasn't. I was not knocking that. I'm just saying that there's more pornos that have plots than the crap that's coming out.
That's true. Yeah, that is very true.
It's just bad. And speaking of, the Child's Play remake. I've noticed a lot of chatter of that on Facebook. Everybody's just absolutely delighted that Mark Hamill's going to play Chucky. Well, my first question is, where the hell is Brad Dourif? Okay, he's been Chucky since Chucky was Chucky. I would imagine he would be a hell of a lot cheaper. And then I did some research into this. They separated from the studio. The original creator of Child's Play and Brad Dourif were not involved at all. They were completely left out.
Yeah, if you're going to make all these remakes and everything, at least have somebody who was somewhat involved in the original process.
Well,
just to make it stay true, but at the same time, what this is that the kids are brought up without imaginations, brought up without creativity. Everything gets snuffed out, and they all grow up watching the same movies that we grew up watching.
And they're very arrogant. These kids
they all sit there
arrogant.
and they're like, you know what? I could do that. I could do that better.
Yeah, but yet at the same time, they really can't.
Well, and my theory is the thing that they miss the most, it's not a matter of actually making it scary. It's not the matter of making it look horrifying and grisly and da-da-da-da-da. No. The thing that they are missing and the thing that they just screw up the most, the nostalgia factor.
That, and they have no development when it comes to plot, when it comes to character.
They try to throw in all these little Easter eggs and these little hat tips
and
that are so obscured in the background that only if you're sitting there and watching it repeatedly, or they just come out and say, "Oh yeah, we have this Easter egg, we have this Easter egg, we have this little hat tip." No, but the simple fact of the matter is, Pet Sematary is a terrible movie. It was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch it. You watch it back when you were younger. It's scary. You watch it now as an adult. It's comical.
Not as comical as the second one. The second one was funny.
Well,
I mean, okay.
You're right. That's a sequel to begin with,
but
so
yes,
it's already doomed.
I completely agree with you. They do not have the nostalgia. But then again, I think a lot of these people that are making these movies are a bit younger than us. I don't believe they're our age, so they don't share the same nostalgia of it. I mean, I know Pet Sematary, the main reason why I hold it dear was I was able to see it when I was a kid. I mean, I should not have been allowed in that theater. I was like, maybe when it came out in 1986, was maybe 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah, I mean, even your dad walked out.
Oh, it was hilarious. As soon as Gage got hit, my dad stands up. Oh, God damn. Oh, hell. Runs out of the movie. Goes and smokes a cigarette. Walks back in. Sees the scene where the father and the grandfather are fighting at the funeral, where the casket gets knocked over and you see the kid's arm. Dad just suddenly goes, "Oh, Jesus Christ," walks back. I mean, in the middle of the theater, packed house, saying this. I think he scared more people than the movie actually scared. I mean, it was hilarious. And And my mom made him take me to go see the second one because my crush at the time,
Edward Furlong.
Edward Furlong, was in it. And my dad goes, I don't mind that one. That one was kind of funny. And it was. It was
terrible.
Oh, it was awful, but it was funnier than hell. It was very, compared to a lot of the crap that comes out now, I will watch that any day over some of this garbage. But to add to what you were saying, it's not only nostalgia, they get hung up on some of the weirdest shit in movies. Like, for instance, the recent Star Wars fuel. When the hell was fuel ever mentioned? I'm just asking because, you're creating problems that weren't there before, okay? And it's like, I almost feel like somebody that is very linear in thought had way too much input on the movie. Because it's like, where the hell do you even come up with that? It's like they're incapable of spinning themselves away from it. It's just, now you've just created yourself a huge plot pitfall. So,
yeah, they get caught up on the weirdest things.
It's bizarre.
The latest, and the other thing that drives me nuts is the fact that when it comes to casting, they have these movies, these directors have started to go so far. They've been trying too hard to find that perfect balance of diversity.
Oh, I'm sick of that crap.
Now here's the thing.
Enough.
Diversity is fine. Diversity is great because we're diverse. Humans as a whole, we're diverse. We have all different shapes, skins, colors, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Da, 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 da. However, when it comes to casting a movie, I want you to cast the best person for the job.
Yeah, stop, no all-female Ghostbusters. Otherwise, they're going to eventually...
And the thing is, the 4 people that they cast weren't even the best people for the job.
No, they were. I don't even know who half of them were. I mean, one of them, wasn't it a man?
That was Leslie Jones.
I swear to God, that's a man.
Then Melissa McCarthy was the other one. Kristen Wiig and another Kate McKinnon from...
I couldn't tell you who
basically, you had 3 SNL people and Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah. That. Ugh.
So it didn't hold up. But... cast the best people for the job. Don't cast just because, we have to make sure that we have a woman. We got to make sure that we have a black person. We got to make sure we have, an Asian person.
Why don't you just follow what the original concept is? If the person's white, they're white. If they're black, they're black. Stop it. They did this with the Fan Four Stick.
Giving me Black Johnny Fantastic, the Fantastic Four reboot. Black Johnny Storm. 1, he was terrible. 2, it wasn't believable. Sue and Johnny were brother and sister. They weren't, now all of a sudden you want to tell me that one of them's adopted?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's, that's just what they want to do now.
Stick to canon. Okay. So,
oh, wait, but we're talking about the same people who think that they're so smart and they're so, what's the word, woke?
Yeah, they're so woke.
Yeah, stop it. Just freaking stop it. And, I know they see it at the box office. It drops off. I mean, that's why on Facebook you'll see these movies being pushed and pushed and pushed. And half the time when you read the articles, you got to take them with a grain of salt because they're being paid by the movie.
There are all these
now.
Websites and all of these entities out there that I used to take as, okay, hey, this person's telling it like it is. Because they would review a movie, and I would go and I would watch it and I would say, okay, what they thought is in line with what I thought, or I'll go see it, then I'll watch their reviews, and the same thing. What I thought came out to be what they thought. Okay, but now there would be some differences. There would be some things that I didn't like that they did, and some things that I liked that they didn't. But overall, it would be a decent mesh. Now, I watch Movie Bob or I'll go to Comic Book Resources. I'll go to these different sites.
Oh, Comic Book Resources is the worst.
And it just seems
Same
like
thing with Joe Blow.
Yeah, they are all in the pocket. And trust me, I understand. Go get yours. I mean,
but there's nothing
if these companies wanted to show up and give me a buttload of money to say that this new Pet Sematary movie is great, I'd tell you it's great. I would wholeheartedly take the money and tell you it's great.
but it's not. I'm sorry. I mean, I guess if you want to sell your soul, that's fine, but it's like, sell it for something a little bit better, I mean, I wouldn't hitch my wagon to this sinking ship.
No,
Jesus.
I mean, but movie reviews and everything.
If
you want to pay me to do it,
I would be like the Andy.
I'll take your money and run.
I would be the Andy Rooney of movie reviewers. I mean, the crankiest. I would slice and dice. I would be like the way Movie Bob used to be. Now he's sold out, so basically he can review piles of garbage that's on
and it's not
fire,
just
and
it's not just
great.
movies. It's not just movies doing this. TV does the same thing. And I'll wrap up with this, and then we'll move on to other things because we've got a ton of stuff. I mean, we really do, and hopefully you stick around for all of it. I'm watching begrudgingly Star Trek Discovery from CBS All Access.
That's because you're an M.
No, hold on. No, I've determined that the reason that I watched this is because I would much rather see the franchise succeed and continue than be a petty dick and say, I don't like it, so screw it. I'd rather work towards the franchise getting better things, like the new Picard series that was announced. I'm looking forward to that. If it weren't for Discovery and people actually watching it on CBS All Access, they wouldn't be willing to make that.
But they're not going to improve the series, though.
Well,
okay, fine. I get you. I understand what you mean, but I really would be cautious with your optimism on the Picard series. I mean, this is by the same people.
But Patrick Stewart knows.
Patrick Stewart did that terrible series.
Oh, blunt talk. But yeah, well,
it was bad.
Yeah, but when it comes to Picard, he knows what he's doing. He knows what that character is supposed to be.
I just don't want to see you get heartbroken.
So me watching Discovery, I noticed that, wait a second, they're taking all sorts of things that are canon and completely screwing them up.
Mm-hmm.
Planets now have different things. All of a sudden now we have time crystals. Section 31 is something that is out and about in the open. Mm-hmm. Section 31 was never in the open. Section 31 was that, the basic rumor mill. You would hear about it, but nobody would ever confirm it exists. All of a sudden,
these are people that are
they know
younger
better
than us that think that they can do it better, and honestly, they cannot.
Well, sometimes, just think about this. This is a good way to think about life.
Okay.
Well, sometimes that is better.
See, sometimes that is better.
That's true. Well said. Well said.
So moving on. So, all right, since we're talking about things that are absolutely just annoying the crap out of us right now.
Yeah.
One thing I just want to toss out there.
Mm-hmm.
You got done dirty this week.
So we have to explain why I sound so bitchy this episode, huh?
Well, I mean, look, as much as we talk about the news and talk about things going on in the news that, other people won't talk about or they just kind of gloss over, I want to give people a chance to connect.
Okay.
With us, on a personal level. I mean, I'm not going to give you my real legal name because that would just be stupid of me, because I work for a pair of companies that if I ever said anything that was disparaging, they would say, "Oh, hey, no."
Which sucks because that ties me in there too, and I've got a lot to say.
See, but I could disparage your company. So
that's true.
So you've been up for a job for the past 4 months.
Oh my God.
5 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
Dating back to last year.
Yes.
And
that is coming to a close, sadly.
We thought that this was something that was gonna happen.
Oh yeah. Really had my hopes up.
Every conversation you had with him said that, oh yeah, this is gonna happen. It's just a matter of making it work.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at houses.
You got done dirty though.
Yes, I really did. And I've been trying to keep my emotions about it because I thought it was a great opportunity for both Robert and I. Not only for me, because it would expand my career and give me a new area to go into. It would also give Robert a way to
do something different.
Yeah, do something really cool. And yeah, not going to happen. I found that out from my boss from a phone call saying that they decided to go with candidate, their second option.
Yeah, they decided to go with number 2.
Number 2.
Although number 2 apparently can't make the move either. So I don't know what they're going to do next.
I don't either.
But
I really don't. I was talking with one of my coworkers and I'm heartbroken over it. You know, the way it was left with me was that the last time I talked to a higher up at the company, they said that, you know, they asked how much. I told them, you know, I said, and I explained my side. I said, you know, I just can't uproot my life.
Well, you got to be paid what you're worth.
Well, yeah, but I was being close. Well, I mean, I even came down.
Yeah, like I said, or at least close.
Yeah, and I even, you know, relate it to my boss and to several people there that, look, you know, as long as you can give me some endorsements, something, you know, some way to make us break even, you know, I'll do it, you know. And I thought that was a huge gesture on my part.
I mean, look, we both work in radio. We don't make a whole lot of money.
No.
So we got to try, you know, whenever something comes along that, you know, hey, if this is a negotiation, I'm going to try to get everything that I can.
It was definitely not a negotiation because they come to me with a number. I tell them, no, I can't do that. And then they come back with the same number and I have to explain, look, I'm in a state that has no state income tax. Your state has income tax. So you got to pay me what I want, you know, just so I can make ends meet. Well, you know, and then they offered, you know, to pay for a cell phone, which I don't need, and to pay for my car, which I don't need. You don't have a car payment. Yeah, and it's just... I mean, if they wanted to pay for my car, that's one thing. But they wouldn't. And, exactly. But it's just, you know, it's just... I mean, when they flew you up there, they wouldn't even pay to fly me up. I had to reach into my pocket and pay for that. But, so, yeah, I really wanted that job. I truly am heartbroken over it. I'm hurt. My feelings are very hurt, but you know what they say, some things just aren't meant to be. And when one door shuts, another one opens. So I'm doing my best to throw myself through as many doors as possible. Yeah, but getting done dirty is just, it's just wrong. Believe me. And everybody's been done dirty. If you've been done dirty, hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Facebook, at ROCW_podcast on Twitter, Facebook.com/ROCW podcast. You know, hit us up on those two sites. Let us know, because I'm really curious. And besides that, there's one. Or you can tweet at me at the Rob Rotten. And also on Twitter and on Facebook. This is a little out of left field, but I've been thinking about creating a Patreon page, you know, or no, a GoFundMe. The dudes from Dallas tried that. It didn't work. No. But here's the thing. It would be a GoFundMe to help buy me an African gray parrot. Since I'm unable to have children, I want... Don't do it! Please. No, I'm serious. I've been seriously thinking about it. I was like, okay, you know, help my husband not lose his mind by getting Nikki a African gray parrot, because I can teach it to talk, and since we won't have any kids, we can will the parrot everything. And whoever the parrot ends up going to, it will sound like me and annoy them for the rest of their lives. Absolutely. And it will say things like, "Shut up! Shut the hell up! Stop it! Stop it!" It'd be awesome. You know, we really need to get video started for this podcast. Yes, we do. You now have a parrot kitty who's about to actually knock down the Dr. Pepper clock. Oh, no, he's not. Yeah, that thing is really hot, so... Anyways, just let us know what you think. If you think a whole GoFundMe page. You know, hey, there's people that do, hey, GoFundMe, I need some tits. I've got great tits, so I don't need that. But I do want a parrot. She does have great tits. I do want a parrot. I really do. I've wanted one my whole life. And since I can't have a child, I would love to have my whole maternal thing fulfilled by having a bird. Speaking of Facebook and Twitter and everything, we put out a question last week. When you're driving and a squirrel runs out onto the road,
Do you try to dodge it or let nature take its course? Because we talked about the squirrels in the Geico commercial. Malia says dodge 100%. Teresa, dodge 100%. Kyle, let nature take its course. Sam, it has been a long time belief that squirrels live in a gladiatorial society. When a squirrel steps to challenge me in the arena of the road, I honor the gladiator with no mercy. Levy, I don't even break. Jenny, dodge, I don't need the guts and ish all over my car. Amber says, let nature. And Dubai Smelly Carrie says, don't dodge. You don't know which way it's going to run, so you may end up hitting it anyways. I'd at least break, though. So that's the results of our social media question last week. We'll put the other ones up there this week as well, so you can interact.
Oh, by the way, did you know that Japan is doomed?
Well, Japan definitely is doomed.
I think they're
as
actually
well as everybody else.
No. I think they're doomed on a much larger scale. They've kind of, if you look at Japan, you can kind of see what direction we're going. They're just going there much faster, much faster. A new study came out and says that 30-year-old virgins, 1 in 10 Japanese adults in their 30s have never had sex.
Say what?
Yep.
What?
Yep. 1 in 10 Japanese adults in their 30s have never had heterosexual sex. Now, that does not.
I bet I know why.
Oh, I can tell you why. No.
I'm gonna guess it's all anime's fault.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Oh yeah.
Really?
It doesn't state that because this is a very scientific study. They're not going into the fact that people are hikikomori, which are the type, which means like a recluse. They just, I'm a recluse, but these people are like a recluse on a whole nother level, man. Whole nother level. But in the 35 to 39 age bracket, 8.9% for women, 9.5% for men. Both age brackets of self-reported virgins increased from the survey conducted back in 1987 and 1992. And see, the survey...
Of course, the survey data did not include information on same-sex intercourse.
No, it did not.
But authors said that even if they had homosexual sex, around 1 in 20 people in their 30s would still lack sexual experience. Now, data from the United States found that just 1.9% of women aged 30 to 34 and 0.9% of women aged 35 to 39 reported no sexual partners of the opposite sex, while the figures for men were 3.1% for those aged 30 to 34 and 1.4% for those between 35 and 39.
Now, this study definitely adds to their already huge growing concern with their population decline and the low fertility rate. Now, back in, I believe it was 2008, I had read that the birth rates were so low there that they have an obstetrician on duty at a hospital maybe once a week. So you're screwed. It's like you would have to have your delivery date planned. It would have to be, because otherwise there's not an obstetrician there.
Now, the craziest thing when you think about this particular study, the authors who did this pointed out that sexual inactivity could also be higher than their research suggests, as they only examined whether respondents had any sexual history, but not whether they were currently sexually active.
Well, they're saying it's reached epidemic levels, according to an expert at University of Tokyo, which is also called Todai. That people that have sexual inactivity or inexperience, whether voluntary or not, it's a huge concern. And it's gotten so bad that the government has been offering birth incentives and support for working mothers, including, nursery spots. But there's schools that have had to close because they can't fill them. There's not enough children. And the bad thing is they have a welfare state there that's pretty incredible. They've even made animes about it, about going and getting your benefits. Well, the thing is, if you don't have a group of young people coming up who's going to pay for it? That's where they're starting to reach their struggles. And now, I think I saw recently, Japan's just recently started letting people become, I don't know if they're letting them become citizens, but they're opening their borders up more and letting more people in because the population is just dying off.
Now, of course, this study found a correlation between sex and money. Men are more likely to have had sexual intercourse if they had a permanent full-time employment. Gee, color me shocked.
Their sexual revolution over there was extreme. I think Japan, they've been in a really bad economic state since like the 1992. Their whole system just hit the shits and never came back. And they've been doing the whole QE3 garbage crap that we've been doing here with our money. They started it, and now we're doing it. So let's not. I don't want to get technical and start making everybody's eyes glaze over, but yeah, their money is all sorts of messed
basically,
up.
Japan, you guys need to go out and get the. You guys need to go out and get the.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I love the anime. Keep it up. I love it, but guys, come on.
Look, a sexy Sasach or a sexy Umu, sexy Seba.
Even your cute little lollies.
Like, stop. It's fun to look at, but it doesn't replace the actual feel of an actual woman's vagina. So,
well, they've
guys,
worked on it. They do sell a lot of things.
They do. Oh God, a couple of the websites you've shown me that.
Oh yeah. Well, statistically, this was again back when I used to study Japan. I believe for the amount of women over there, drastically is way below the men. Like I think there's 3 men for 1 woman. I mean, it's not fair. I mean, it's not like they have a whole lot of options, but the women over there, they were domineered for so many years. They just got tired of taking the men's shit. So that's why you really don't have a lot of people hooking up or together or anything, because I don't know, their culture is very different. If you find the Japanese culture interesting, you ought to read the book Culture Shock Japan. That will definitely open your eyes to a lot of the problems that they're having over there and why they're having them.
Well, one problem that they're probably having over there, just like a lot of other people are having. So back in the days of Chappelle's Show, they had a bit where it was the sex contract.
Yes.
Check here for anal, check here for oral. And once you sign, we're gonna get it on. Then millennials decided that, you know what, we need to take it a step further in this day and age. We're gonna have a consent app. Well, the consent app, obviously, I guess maybe hasn't taken off or anything. So now we have new consent condoms that can only be opened by 2 people.
Yes, it can only be opened when 4 hands simultaneously press the special pressure points on the side of the packet. Now, for me, I'm thinking this is just like opening a pill container. That is going to, it's not going to open, and it's going to frustrate the hell out of you, and you're just going to be like, screw it. Literally.
If it's not a yes, it's a no.
Yeah.
If it's not yes, it's no. Remember that. Yo, I'm not going to fight you. That's mine. Get off. We talked about these animals a couple weeks ago, and one of them is on the console and fighting me.
Well, don't ever plan on abandoning him. You know that, right?
Well,
he's your derp for life. But did you know that a man actually faces animal cruelty charges for abandoning his pet fish?
Say what?
Dead serious. Michael Ray Henson, 53, was taken into custody on Wednesday and charged with 3 counts of misdemeanor cruelty to animals and 1 count of abandonment of an animal. A New Hanover County man who was arrested on animal cruelty charges after he allegedly failed to provide fresh water and food to his pet fish after he abandoned it when he was evicted from his home last month. I hate to say this, but
you were pinging the meters the entire time there? Yeah.
No, I was just thinking to myself, how many fish have I killed? I'm probably a mass murderer.
You are.
I mean, I could never, I love fish, But every time I changed the water, I swear to God, they always died. I could never get the pH right. It would end up cloudy, and then the fish would die. I mean, I'm probably a mass murderer. But, I mean, that's just insane. Insane. But see, the fish... Ethan Lane with the fish room where the fish is being nursed back to health said it was an Oscar fish that's about $40 to $50 to purchase. Damn, and it's a big fish. It can grow up to 16 inches long. Still, it's a fish, people. It's a fish.
What, fish lives don't matter?
But basically, this is just a life, just like any dog or cat. If you neglect an animal in New Hanover County, we're coming for you. So if you have a fish and you live there, you better make for damn sure you don't kill it.
Well, and make sure that you don't get evicted.
What's he supposed to do? He's evicted. Is he supposed to, like, tie it, like have it in a little Ziploc bag and tie it around his neck and be like, what about Bob? I mean, my God.
Well, relationships are important. We've been talking about people in Japan not having relationships and not having sexual relationships, I should say. Then we have condoms. Now we have the relationship between human and animal. Well, another study has come out saying that men with beards appear to be better partners in long-term relationships.
I believe that.
A study by the Journal of Evolutionary Biology found that women find men with beards to be more attractive than clean-shaven faces for long-term relationships. The study, conducted in 2016, reportedly used computer graphic manipulation to see how women's physical attractiveness to a man varied depending on how masculine they appeared and how much facial hair they had. Women rated the men for their physical attractiveness in general, for a short-term relationship, and for a long-term relationship. The results showed that men with stubble and beards were judged as more attractive than clean-shaven for long-term relationships. They also showed that men with more masculine features, for example, a pronounced brow ridge and a more robust jawline, were more attractive for short-term relationships.
Now, isn't the pronounced brow ridge, isn't that usually typical of people that have done, what is it, roids?
No.
I thought it was, because you get the whole Neanderthal.
No, I think it's just the way that your head is shaped. Yo. Not again.
Yeah, unless you're the whole hipster and you've got the whole handlebar mustache thing going on, I completely agree with this. Or if you've got the hipster thing going.
Well, they said just a beard. Now, I have a beard. If I shave my beard, I look a lot younger.
Yeah.
And you've told me that I can't do that.
No, not unless you're willing to pay a lot of money in plastic surgery, because I will be damned if anyone figures out how old I really am.
And that you're older than me.
Yes.
Oops.
Yes, I am.
Oops. Did I just say that?
No, it's fine. It's fine. Now, should we end this note with a idiot story?
Well, of course. I mean, now, what... Let's see, what kinds of idiots are we talking about?
Well, Arkansas nitwits took turns shooting at each other while wearing a bulletproof vest.
Yes, I heard this story. I heard this story on another show I work on.
Two Arkansas men took turns shooting at one another while wearing a bulletproof vest. They arrested the pair for felony assault. Charles Ferris, 50, and Christopher Hicks, 36, were drinking Sunday night on the back deck of Ferris's residence when they came up with the bright idea to shoot themselves. Ferris, who was wearing a bulletproof vest, told Hicks, "Shoot him!" And according to the affidavit, Hicks obliged, shooting a single round of a .22 caliber rifle into Ferris's chest. While the vest stopped the bullet, Ferris was left with a very painful welt on his chest. That didn't stop him. Then Hicks donned the vest.
Oh, this is going to be great.
Yeah,
so wait, so Ferris got shot by Hicks, and then they traded places.
Right, and
I can see this just going really well.
Yeah, this is going to escalate quite quickly. Ferris, who would later tell the cops that he was, quote, pissed, end quote, about being shot, confessed that he unloaded the clip.
Wait, what? Didn't you agree to this?
He unloaded the clip into Hicks' back. None of the 5 rounds penetrated the protective vest, but Hicks was bruised from hitting them.
Well, duh. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
So Ferris subsequently sought medical treatment for the shooting injury. Hospital workers summoned police, and instead of admitting that he and Hicks had shot each other, Ferris spun a wild tale about coming under fire by a mystery assailant while he was protecting an individual he referred to as an asset. Ferris claimed that he was paid $200 to protect the asset, whom he had met in a bar in the city of Springdale. But after his wife told police what actually happened, Ferris confessed to fabricating the cloak and dagger story, claiming that he did not want Hicks to get into trouble.
Now that's funny. Didn't he just unload the clip into Hicks' back?
I mean, come on. This is
like straight up Dumb and Dumber. I mean, it's just...
Hey, let's do this.
No, it's almost like from Justified. You know, the idiot sitting out there in front of the campfire throwing bullets into the fire, and I think they called it bullet roulette.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, thank you, Arkansas, for providing us with some Florida-like entertainment.
Yes, I think they're going to try to give Florida a run for their money.
Well, I don't know. Florida might still be ahead.
Maybe.
Think about this. A Florida man stole a car, but left phone behind. So he drove to his own arrest. Sometimes a Florida man makes it so easy for law enforcement.
Wait, let me get this. He stole a car, but he forgot his phone, so he drove back just to get his phone.
Yeah, the Polk County Sheriff's Office said that Ronnie Dylan Willis, 25, returned to the Winter Haven home of a woman who was being interviewed by officers. Marta Diaz had called deputies to report that her 2009 Jeep Patriot had been stolen earlier in the day on March 24th. According to an arrest affidavit, Willis pulled up to the front of her house in that tan Jeep and got out of the driver's side. As Diaz and the officer looked at him, deputies say Willis told him he was looking for his cell phone, which was pinging back to the residence.
What an idiot.
Yep.
Yeah, go get a new phone.
Deputies say Diaz told them she did not know Willis or give him permission to drive off in her vehicle. But she did tell them she had seen the man walking around the street by her house earlier in the morning when she'd left with her husband to go to a local mall. As officers interviewed Willis, they say he told them he awoke at the residence inside a vehicle, but could not recall if it was the Jeep Patriot or a minivan that was also parked on Diaz's property. Willis told them he knocked on the door of the house, and when no one answered, he left in the Jeep Patriot and said he was trying to get home to find his cell phone. But of course, he pinged his cell, and in return, the address was pinging Diaz's home. So, yeah, he was quickly arrested. He was booked into jail on the grand theft charge and released after he paid $1,000 bail.
Wow.
So Arkansas, Florida.
Florida still beats. Florida still wins.
Oh, absolutely. Because of the consistency. Mm-hmm. I think it's all about consistency more so than just the one-offs. So that's going to do it for us for this episode. We'll be back with much, much more later on.
Definitely.
Hit us up on the social media channels, Twitter and Facebook, at ROCW_podcast. Let us know what you guys think about the upcoming movie remakes and the other things that we talked about, the GoFundMe page and the Done Dirty by Employers.
Definitely.
And I'm looking forward to hearing some of that feedback. Believe me, because if you've been done dirty by an employer, I really want to know about it, and I want to know the details. All right, so definitely hit us up on that. 6 Separate Tyrannus. Good night, Doc Thompson, wherever you are.